So, good afternoon, everyone, from the lovely city of Mumbai. Some friends may not know me, so I must introduce myself. I am Brahma Prakash Gaur. I live in Mumbai, and we are associated with an initiative called Tuesday Gatherings, where we have an online meeting every Tuesday to discuss some topics of spiritual interest. Besides this, I have also been doing some sound healing or doing some teachings. So those sessions keep going on. And this is a kind of a mixed gathering where we have people who are interested in both these areas. So a very warm welcome to each one of you from the core of my heart to this very special session. We are very fortunate to have here with us today Reverend Bill McDonald. Namaste, Reverend.
Namaste.
It's an amazing, for all of us, for us, Reverend Bill has been an amazing discovery because we just connected with him some time ago through the net. And he was kind enough to come and speak to us to one of the gatherings of the Tuesday gathering. And we discovered that what a true spiritualist can be like. We are all physical beings, but actually we are spiritual beings living a physical existence. And only once in a while, some rare souls get into this search of their true nature. And there are still the rarer ones who are able to find that. And when this awakening comes or the understanding comes, one discovers love, which is all encompassing. And that love, when it is awakened in the heart, a person's life changes completely. He has this special ability to connect to everyone, to every single thing in this universe. And with an open heart, he is able to transmit something which awakens the same love in others' hearts. And healing happens only through love, because this is only love that melts all blockages. So Reverend Bill is that kind of an amazing personality, contact with whom can awaken that love in our hearts that he has for each one of us. And we are here to experience it. So without spending much time in introducing him, I would like you to experience Reverend Bill. So Reverend Bill, the audience is yours, sir. Most welcome. We are so glad to have you.
Well, it's always good to see you and talk to you. And, what we're doing is not too far different. Both of us are using love as part of the healing process. And you're talking about sound, using sound for healing. I'm talking about changing the frequency of one's self, a vibration frequency. That's the same thing as sound. We're just using different language. And some people heal with tuning forks. And I found that out the other day. I didn't realize people were doing that. I've been teaching people that you are the tuning fork. We are the tuning fork. We got a mind body, a spiritual body, and a physical body. And when they're not vibrating together in resonance, then sickness happens. So being like a tuning fork, if we could get them all in the same frequency, we can eliminate disease. And disease is spiritual, mental, and physical. So in essence, we're kind of teaching the same thing, I think. I've been called a lot. Somebody was telling me online there's already stuff being printed out there. People are saying, oh, Reverend Bill, he's always about love. He's always about love. He's simplistic. He doesn't quote scriptures. He's just love, love, love. And so now they're calling me Brother Love. Brother Love's World's Healing Tour. And they thought they were insulting me. And I go, oh, yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing. I don't mind that. That's they can say it all they want because that's really what I'm doing. And the most simplest thing is to recognize that we as a human species and as a spiritual being, love is what makes us healthy or unhealthy. If there's no love in your life, then you're going to suffer physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I've been started in California, down by San Diego, and in Northern California, up by Sacramento, and Santa Cruz, California. I started in the last couple of months on this, what I call the world tour. It's taking me to India. You guys are one of the first stops. And I go back to Salt Lake City, Utah to do one, Syracuse, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, Raleigh, North Carolina, Tampa Bay, Florida, Austin, Texas, etc., Sedona, Arizona. Eventually, in the coming years, I will be in Tokyo. I will be in Seoul, Korea. I will be in Auckland, New Zealand. I will be in Sydney and Hanoi, of all places, Vietnam. But India stands prominently in my voyage for this healing teaching. I will be coming back, it seems, because I've already promised several people I was going to come back. So I've got kind of Googled into at least one or two more trips in the next 18 months. So I will be back because I've really failed to open up enough opportunities for people that wanted to connect with me and take classes. And so far, my time has been taken up by a lot of private stuff. And so I'm glad we're doing Mumbai. But I want to come back and do bigger groups and get the energy out there. So if you guys permit me, I want to kind of give you an overview of what I'm doing, what my plans are. And when I get done with this, I want you to think about my proposal, because here's what I'm looking for. In 3 years, I will be 80 years old. And I'm going to stop this world tour. I'm going to stop going out and doing this big, lecture circuit. It'll just be once in a while thing. What I'm looking for are people that want to do what I'm doing in service, not for profit, but in service. I'm looking for people without their ego standing in their way, and they want to carry on the teachings I'm doing. I've learned a lot in my 77 years, and I want to pass it along before I'm gone. I figured I've learned it the hard way, but it works on me. So I'm looking for people. I just met somebody today, and she was a perfect person for what I was looking for. I'm looking for people that want to deal with energy. They want to deal with love. They want to give a service. They want to do what I'm doing and not be profit motivated. If they get money to pay for the venue, if they make expenses, that's okay. You got to live, right? But it's not a job. So that's what I'm doing. And so far, it's been working. And I have no doubt that I will be making the circuit. I'll even be in Germany, Dave. David, I'll be there. We have to work out it the fall, winter, whatever. So I'm going back to Germany. I'm going to UK. I'm going to Ireland, going to Scotland, going to Wales. But no matter where I go, this is an evolving process. Here's what I found. Every workshop I've given, it's advanced to the next one. It's really interesting, but I'm actually learning things from each group that I go to. No group's been the same. First group in Santa Cruz that I did a couple months ago, it was more the old hippies, from the 70s and 80s, right? It was the old hippies, different attitude, different things. And we went down that road. And then the next group, it was almost all old people. And it was I've rented a church building. It was a different presentation, same information, but presented differently. But last Saturday, it was a group of yogis, self-realization fellowship yogis, some group of people from the Hamsa group that Dave belongs to. And everybody there had been practicing Kriya Yoga, which, if you know anything about that, I'm not prepared to talk about it, but it's a subject. So I had a full house of everybody being a heavy meditator. I didn't have to do a lot of explaining. And the receptivity was so positive. It was like, boom, we're with you, right? The people were with me. So after almost 4 hours of me doing like I'm doing now, in case you wonder what I'm doing, I kind of ramble on with stories, inspirational things, maybe make you laugh, maybe make you cry. But all this is so I bring your mind down, because people have these walls they put up with their thinking. And the more intelligent you are, the more like an engineering mind that you have, the more facts and stuff you work with. I have to really break that down. I do better with people that are like me, more childlike. And when you surrender the adulthood and you just look at life as a voyage of love, then what I teach makes sense. So my first couple, 2-3 hours, if you come to this workshop in Mumbai, it's going to be me working you over. It looks like I'm just telling stories. It's interesting, it's entertaining, but there's a purpose. It's really an exchange of energy trying to raise your frequency. When your frequency is raised, we're back to the tuning fork. When I raise your frequency up, then you can participate in your own self-healing. I want to say this because I'm advertising this as a self-healing workshop. I don't want any credit for anything, although everybody, oh, Reverend Bill cured me of this. No. I couldn't do anything without the person buying into what I'm doing. This is self-driven. Whatever you think I'm capable of giving you from the instruction, that will be your fact. What you believe, that's how far it'll go. So the only person holding up the healing in this process is your heart and your head. And the head's just got to let it go, and you have to go with your heart. So when I come to Mumbai, I think we got a 6-hour schedule. We got an hour lunch in the middle. But I see this as a softening of your energetic field and rebuilding it with this new vibrant frequency. It's frequency. As you get more enlightened, what happens? Literally enlightened. You're more light, your aura gets greater, but your vibration rate gets greater. So trying to heal somebody or trying to heal yourself when everything's in the lower chakras, when you're focused on your sex and the lower driving, the chakras in your body, you're not opening yourself up to true healing. It's going to be very difficult. So I'm finding what I did last week. I'll just talk about that for a minute because I just put a video up there, 50-minute video on my YouTube channel that shows the last moments of that, where I already built everybody's energy up. You don't see that. That was where the work is at. That's why people look at the video and they go, well, no, they missed the buildup. But in that workshop, we had 6 people that I put hands on. 6 people claimed they were cured of something. A bunch of people in the group that were helping with this wrote me later on that the depression's gone, their pain is gone, their back is working good. All kinds of other people had things happen, different levels. Some people's level was they lost half the pain they had. Some people was full remission. Some people, one woman actually canceled her surgery, scheduled surgery, because she didn't need it. And I don't ask people what's wrong with them. I don't know if they're coming for a mental problem, emotional problem, spiritual problem, or physical problem. I figure God knows what you need. And so that's how we approach the healings. It's where you want to center your healing. So if you come to this workshop in Mumbai, some people will focus just on the physical. Some people will focus on your mental, emotional issues, relationships. I'm telling people the most important thing to focus on always is your spiritual body. If your spiritual self is diseased, then the others don't matter. It's going to affect it all. So spiritually, you got to heal that first. And the body, You come, you get your body cured. Eventually, something's going to kill your body, no matter how well you eat, exercise, do all these things. You know what? Even Elvis Presley died. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to die. Something's going to take your body from you. So, working on the body that you're going to leave behind, somebody's going to cremate. It's gone. It's rotten. It's burned. That's not as profitable as working on your spirit, working on who you are, how loving you are. So the first principle that I teach, and it's not the first thing I learned because we'll talk two separate things. The first principle I teach is something I was taught when I was 18 years old, living in the South Pacific on the Hawaiian Islands, and a kahuna priest. Now, if you're not familiar with the kahuna religion, the only thing I could compare it to would be the Nath yoga tradition. The frequencies of their healings, their chants, it's a different culture, it's a different language, but the sounding patterns and the stuff from the Nath yogis that I met, and David knows one, Gurnath, they're in outside of Mumbai. He went to Hawaii and he came back and he said that he met these people and the energy is the same as the Nath tradition. So just keep that in the back of your mind. When I was 18 years old, I met this 66-year-old kahuna priest. He was the big kahuna, as they say, the big kahuna. He was the big kahuna. And he'd personally worked with President Eisenhower, Tony Curtis, the actor, Otto Preminger, the director. All these big Hollywood people would come to the island and they would go to him secretly. But it was all about frequency and energy. And so I thought, oh, this is cool. I want to learn this. He took me in. First off, when I met him, I knocked on his door. Somebody said, my sister said, hey, while you're in Hawaii, if you ever get in trouble, if you run out of money or something, go see my boyfriend's grandfather. I didn't know anything about the guy. I knocked on his door and he opens the door and he just stares at me. He looks at me with these big eyes, right? This hair, And he goes, I know you were coming. And I'm going, what? What? And he says, in a previous lifetime, you were my kahuna. You taught me everything that I know. And you were working with King Kamehameha. He was the guy that conquered the islands and united all the islands into one country, Hawaii. And so that began a relationship. And so he was going to teach me some things, what he said, re-teach me things. In other words, have me remember things that I already knew. But one of the things he taught me at the time, being an 18-year-old surfer, I'm going, I ain't got time for this love talk. He says, nope, you want to heal somebody, you want to heal yourself, the first thing you got to do is you got to love you. And at the time, 18 years old, I'm going, where's this guy? What this guy, what's he been smoking? I got to love me before I get heal somebody else. I got to love me. And I got to forgive me. And I got to be grateful. And I got to be sorry for anything I did or caused anybody. And it was so simplistic that I did not value that teaching until I got older. And then I realized you can't give anything away that you don't have already. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. If you don't forgive yourself, you can't forgive anybody else. And if you're not grateful, love doesn't flow. So that was one of the first things I started doing the last couple of years when my body was ravaged with cancer. For those that haven't seen, I might be able to have a picture here. Let's see if I can pull one up. But I'll do this as I'm talking. But the last 2 years, I've had 14 surgeries on my face. I've had my nose cut off twice, the nostril cut off. I've had my forehead cut off, eyelid, big tumors taken out of here, neck. Then in October, I don't know if you can still see a little smudge there, but from here all the way down to there, I was sliced. And hang on a second. So I have been under the needle. I've been under the scalpel. I've been stitched over 300 times in this face. So when I say I've practiced what I preach, here's what I'm saying works. I'm telling you that I actually tried these out on myself. So, I mean, here's what my face looked like. First off, here's what my face looked like when the cancer was all over the face. Okay? Big flesh and things would fall off. So later on, they started doing surgery. And I'll show you. There you go. That's what I looked like 6 months ago. That's the least of my surgeries, but they were all like that. I posted my picture on Facebook, and Facebook put me in Facebook jail for posting graphic, violent photos. It was my face. So that's what I was dealing with. Imagine this for a minute, because it's less fun than it sounds to have your nose cut off once and twice. But actually, I've had my nose cut off 3 times. Once, David will remember, back in 2010, I had the nose cut off. So believe it or not, this is not the original. That's not the original model. But, and then the eyelid cut up. And again, it sounds more fun than it was. But when you're cutting the eyelid or you're burning it, you got an eyeball right behind that. There's not much skin there. So it's an interesting proposition. So through all these things, I made up my mind that I was going to find a way to handle it without using any yoga powers. Because in the past, I'd had operations and stuff. I would just meditate out of it. Pain would be gone, done deal. And then I was told by a guru, let's put it that, I was told by a guru in this real life experience that I had, that I needed to learn to handle pain so that I could develop a technique and a method for healing and taking away pain that others could learn. And they can't learn just meditating and it's going away. That's beyond their concept. So I didn't use anything. David's laughing because he knows it's true. I was promised that if I go this route, I'd get more pain than I ever had in my life. And it was been continuous pain, nonstop. So I had developed a way where, through focusing on love and focusing on forgiveness, believe it or not, I could almost instantaneously rid myself of pain. So when I had all these bad surgeries and they give me a big bottle of pill when I left there, I never took the pills. I went home. It was painful for a while. And then I would do my technique. I would, I'd hold my nose and I'd touch it, and I would say, "I love you," meaning me, meaning my nose. I love you. I even said, "I love you" to the cancer. Cancer was supposed to be my enemy. So I said, the Bible says, love your enemy. So I loved my cancer. And then I forgave myself for, all those years I abused my skin. I did something wrong. I'm sorry, skin. I love you. And I forgave myself for all that. And I was grateful to the cancer for allowing me to learn these techniques. I was thanking the cancer for allowing me to grow a miracle. Because to me, when things happen to you, like cancer, you got 2 choices. You could be a victim, oh, terrible, complain, suffer through the pain. Or in my case, you go, it's a gift. Give it to me. Let me open this up and see what the gift is. And the gift was, I developed, I discovered, and I perfected healing techniques that deal with not just pain, which is huge for most people, but also for healing itself. You look at my face, we're talking this, there was no forehead. There was no skin on that forehead 6-8 months ago. There was, big gaps. This nose wasn't there. So I'm calling it to your attention now. Now you can look, if I look at the light, you can see, oh, there's a cut here. You can see a bump. But had I not said anything, it probably wouldn't have been called to your attention. You wouldn't have readily noticed it. So here's a couple of techniques I developed. And almost anybody can heal flesh wounds, cuts, all that stuff. But how many people can heal broken teeth? Let's throw this thing out there in the real world. Broken teeth. So I'm healing the pain all the time. So one day, March of, not last year, the year before, I bite into a date, and the date was supposed to have the pit taken out. So I'm biting, think it's going to be soft all the way through. I bite real hard into it, and I break 2 upper molars and a lower molar. I mean, I'm talking about broke. And I think I shared this story with the original group here. Some of you haven't heard it, but they were broken so bad they were in pieces, and they were jammed down into the gum, into the nerves. So if I breathed a little air, it was like 3 teeth, the nerves going crazy, right? If I drank water, I couldn't eat nothing. So 3 days later, I finally get to a dentist office that wanted to see me. Got x-rays, and the dentist goes, "Hey, you got 3 broken teeth." I go, "Yeah, I could have told you that. That's why I'm here, right? 3 broken teeth." He says, "I'm going to have to pull them all. Probably 2, 3 of them. I'm going to have to pull them. You're going to need 2 or 3, they at least 3 root canals." And you can tell the guys are ringing up the money, and this is going to cost. American dentists are expensive, right? So he's thinking, "Oh, that's 10 grand, you know." And then I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to do the root canal, and then I'm going to screw these little metal things into your gum, you know, and then I'm going to put these little phony. So he's thinking about $15,000, $20,000 worth of work, right? I said, "Okay, do it." And he goes, "Well, my next opening is not till August 28th. This is March, middle of March." So I'm thinking that's a long time to endure pain, broken teeth. I have to be able to eat. And these teeth were really broken. They were in pieces. You could, when he took the x-ray, you could see all the pieces. So I went home. I told him, "Well, put me on call if somebody cancels." And when I got home, I said, "I can't sit around and not eat forever, and I'm not going to deal with this pain." So I said, "You know what? I'll use what I use for my pain from cancer, even though it's a tooth. I never tried it for teeth before." So I put my hands around my jaw and my teeth, and I visualized my teeth. I gave them love. "Thank you, teeth. Thank you, gums. I love you." And so I went through about 2, 3, 4 minutes of this. I put my hands down. Gone. 0 pain. I said, "Well, that's a good start, right? 0 pain." So I go downstairs and I test it. Ice water from the refrigerator. Boom, no problem. I ate a meal, no problem. With broken teeth, right? I'm eating a meal, I'm drinking the cold water. So I finally get called back to the doctor, and they go, "We got an opening. Can you come in?" And I go, "Yeah, sure." And he says, "You got help? You got dental insurance?" And he's worried about his money, right? "Got dental insurance?" I said, "No, but I got cash." He says, "Okay, this is going to be expensive, right?" Okay. I said, I'll pay, you know. So I ended up going in, and they got 2 dentists waiting for me. They got the afternoon, the morning. It's all me. They cancel everybody. They got me. That's it. I'm their main patient, right? And so he looks at the x-rays and he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to pull 3 of them." And I'm listening to this thinking, well, that's okay, not very good bedside manner, as they say, but okay, he's going to pull 3. And then he's going to do the root canals. And he's saying, "Oh, yeah, we're going to do that." And then he gives the whole procedures, right? And I said, "Okay, doc, whatever you want to do, go ahead." I'm totally relaxed. I'm calm. He starts, he finishes. 40 minutes later, instead of hours, it's 40, 45 minutes. And he looks at me and he says, "I'm sorry, I didn't pull your teeth." I'm going, "Well, that's okay. It's okay. You didn't pull my teeth. All right." He says, "I'm sorry, I didn't do a root canal, any of them." I said, "Oh, that's okay. Thank you." He says, "I didn't even do a crown on top of these broken teeth." I said, "Well, that's unusual." He says, "I was able to fix, I didn't even pull any of your teeth out. I mean, I didn't pull any pieces. Everything just kind of went together." So basically what happened was, within a week of doing this, my broken teeth started coming together. All it took was 45 minutes, no crown, no pulling, no gum problems. And it worked. So I shared this with several people I know, including a friend in London, Steve, Steve, David does. And he had all these teeth problems and he tried it out and he reduced his pain. I thought, wow, me just telling him about that, it reduced his pain. So I did a video. I posted the video on YouTube. First month, I got about 100 people say they reduced their pain, they got rid of their pain, or they cured their disease, or they fixed whatever the problem was. About 100 people claiming I healed them. And I go, I didn't heal any of you. You healed you. You believed my words. You used the technique. You believed the technique would do it. Therefore, it's all self-healing. So when I go out and do these things, I say, I'm just a waiter that brings you the food. I didn't cook it. I didn't grow it. And you eat it. I just take it from the chef, God, and I take it to your table for you to eat. That's all I'm doing with this healing energy, is moving it, transferring it from the source to the target, which would be your healing. And teaching people that you have to love yourself, and then following that up by teaching them that God in you, that's your real self, that's your real identity. So if you're loving yourself, then you're really loving God. And then if you're loving God in you, then you realize that God is in everyone. So therefore, when you love yourself, you really do love everyone else. Therefore, when you go to heal somebody else, again, you start with yourself, because when you heal yourself, you heal others. You make the world a better place. So that's kind of like the basis of that. And then I really got tested big time when my back went out. I had a osteoporosis and the back collapsed, and I lost 1.5 inches, maybe not all at once, but when it got measured, it may have been over time, but it did collapse this one day, and I couldn't move. I couldn't sit. I couldn't stand, couldn't lay down. It was great pain. So I sat at the computer like I'm doing now, and I remembered what I did for my teeth. And I remembered what I did for the pain on the cancer surgery. And I said, why am I worried about this? And that's all I did. I didn't have to go, I love you. I just said, like, I just knew it was going to happen. I've already done this, right? And not even having to go through this ritual of I love you, if I forgive you, and I'm grateful, the pain in the back went away. The problem is probably still there. If on an x-ray, it'll probably still show it's a problem, but there's no pain. And most people realize that it's not what's wrong with them that bothers them, it's the pain. If you get rid of the pain and it's working, that's good enough. So that's about love, and that's about forgiveness, and that's about being thankful. That's a big central part of this healing. But there's also another part of the healing, like when I healed my daughter had a broken kneecap, where they wanted to do surgery on it, and I wouldn't give permission. And you could go like this, and it would just be jiggly bones. I mean, it was broken. And she had a cast. The hospital put a soft cast on it, and then when the swelling was going down, they wanted to operate. And I said no. And my daughter goes, "But Dad, it's broken." I go, "No, it's not. That's your image of it. That's not my image of it." So I brought her to my meditation room. I laid her down. And then I used the first technique that I ever learned. And let me explain that. The first technique that I learned is basically based on YSS in this country, or Self-Realization Fellowship in the United States. They have what they call recharging exercises, where you tense up and you charge your body with energy, and you bring in the energy through your chakra, crown chakra. And so I remember that as a child. I was 9 years old. I'd just come home from a year in a hospital, and my dog was run over by a car at 40 miles an hour. And when I went out there, he was just laying with his tongue hanging out and blood coming out the ears and the nose, and it was dying, right? It was bad shape. It just whipped. But I loved my dog. And I picked up the dog in my arms. I cradled it. And I took it in the house. I mean, it was practically flattened. I mean, it was god awful. But I was a child. I'm 9 years old going, God loves my dog. I love my dog. And I knew how to recharge to get energy. So I visualized at 9 years old, I visualized even light coming in the top of my head and going down my spine and coming out my hands. And I visualized this like electricity. And then I tightened up and tensed my little 9-year-old body. And I put my hands on this dog and tightened up and visualized energy going through my fingers into the dog. And it was like I electrocuted the dog. The dog went and jumped out of my lap, ran around the house, and lived another 7, 8 years. Nothing wrong. And I said, oh, that works. So that was method number 2, or actually the first method I used. But then, I combined the energy of that with visualization. And then I visualized the Hawaiian technique. I think they call it Ho'oponopono or some crazy name that I never knew. It's out popular now. There's books on it, but I learned it just really a simple way, just love and everything. And so I had those 2 methods going. And then 2005, when I was in Babaji's cave and I was exploring the Himalayan mountains, and I kept meeting people, a Tibetan monk, and didn't speak English. I spent 3 days with them. They taught me all kinds of secret breathing, meditation, where you take energy and breath through your navel and bring it up and, bring it down your spine, and all kinds of stuff he taught me without any words. Now, years later, I learned that technique and I go, oh, I already know this. I learned this from this guy, right? I see a smile on David's face. He knows what I'm talking about. So I also picked up some other knowledge. And then I had a series of dreams. So what I'm trying to say, in my 77 years of life, what I learned at various stages of my life, I've combined. I kind of put it into a technique, a package. This works. It's not complicated. What gets complicated when I do a group like we're going to do in Mumbai, people need to come in with an open heart, with an open mind, and believe. If you go in there thinking, show me, I don't believe. I guarantee you, nothing's happening. Because it's not me that's healing you. It may be coming through me, but it's not me. This is self-healing. And the greater self is all of us. And so when I get a good group like I did last weekend, they were actually adding their energy to this. So if I have several good meditators there, people that are really can focus, then we can increase the energy and the frequency of the entire group. So this is all, again, about frequency. Now, you talk about sound healing. I'm just using different words. I'm saying, well, it's a sound, but it's not a heard sound. You're the tuning fork, and how do you change your frequency? This is the thing. I work for 4 hours on it to try to do the best I can in a group setting, but ideally, everything you do affects your frequency. In other words, if you're into pornography, that's going to change your frequency negatively. If you're a cheater, if you're an adulteress, if you're eating red meat and pork, that's going to change your frequency. If you're vegetarian and you're meditating and you're forgiving and you're a loving person, you're changing the frequency that you vibrate. So a lot of people are just in between there, right? So you got all these different levels of frequencies. But as you evolve and the energies start to go up, you become enlightened. Your aura is bigger. Your energy is bigger. And the healing power of these antennas that you got right here is much greater. These are antennas. And when you touch somebody, touch yourself, you touch somebody else. Be really careful. It sends, but it can also receive. So I was at an ashram 2010. There was a guy from Hawaii there. And he was having real bad migraines, real bad pain and everything. And the guru there, Gurunov, kept warning me, he walks up to me one day and he says, Bill, Don't let anybody touch you to try to take your energy. I didn't know what he was talking about. But 10 minutes later, this guy comes up and he starts grabbing my head. And he goes, and next thing you know, he goes, thank you, thank you, thank you. His migraine was gone. But all of a sudden, I was beat and feeling weak, right? So I got a warning, but I couldn't stop it. So I learned something there too. If you're healing others, if that's your intention to heal others and work with others' energies, you have to protect your energy. And a lot of people give away their energy. A lot of ways you give away, that's one way, but that's not your normal way. But a lot of people do it by taking your time, your focus, your thoughts, and they will steal your energy that way. And if you're on the computer playing games where you're killing aliens or, combat soldiers, or you're doing all these crazy things for 8 hours a day, you're also draining your energy. You're at a different level. If you're listening to music that's about violence and vulgar things, you're killing your energy. If you're drinking alcohol and doing drugs, you're killing energy. Even I'm doing these drugs. I'm gonna have a psychedelic trip. I'm seeking God through drugs. I say, good luck. Good luck. You're draining your energy. So the greatest way to increase your physical, spiritual, mental energy and to tune the forks, to tune these things, is through meditation. That's the ultimate thing. But meditation without love is a waste. You only can go so far. You can get to the temple door, but you don't open it. So if your meditation is all technique, boom, boom, and think about it, you're doing meditation technique. You're counting your prayer beads, right? Yeah, I said 108. What I mean is that, but you're using your mind and you're visualizing, using your mind, and you're seeing heat and energy exchanging, or you're visualizing and you're chanting, whatever chant you got. Okay, but the technique there is for a reason. The technique is to prepare you and prepare your mind and your thoughts for the meditation. What do you mean, Bill? I'm doing the technique. That's the meditation. No, that's changing your frequency. So when you stop doing all that and you just sit there in the silence and you love God, in that silence, which is the greatest form of communication, because when you're communicating, praying, you're just talking to God. But when you sit in the silence, you're listening to God. And all you got to do is give your love. So meditation done properly focuses on love. And if you're meditating because you want to become enlightened, you want to become self-realized, you want to find peace, you want to find calmness, you want health, you want success, it doesn't matter how good the thing is that you're looking for. You should only be meditating to find one thing: God. Don't be satisfied till you love God. Nothing else matters. Yeah, but I want to astral travel and I want all these experiences. And if you're meditating, did I have any experiences? If you're meditating looking for an experience, you're not looking for God. You're looking for the experience. So you're selling short of what you really need. It's all about love. It's not about finding experiences. People that do drugs find experiences. If you meditate long enough, you'll have experiences anyway. But if you meditate to have an experience, then you're never going to really truly find God within you. You're always going to be chasing something. It's not the same thing. So in this workshop I do, I touch on these things, but you can see your own preparation when you go into these. If you're not meditating, start meditating. You got to prepare yourself for the healing process. But don't come just focused on the physical. Well, God, this is what I need. Is that what you really need when you come to this workshop? What you really need, maybe you're having mental problems, emotional problems with your family's relationship. Maybe that's the healing that God wants for you when you come. Or maybe it's a spiritual healing that you really should be looking for. Don't limit God. Well, I got this pain. I'm just going to focus on the pain. And don't tell God what you need. You should go into these things and say, whatever you want to do, God, I'm here. I just want to serve you. I just want to love you. If you want to give me cancer, great. If you want to give me pain, it's okay. I have never, ever asked God, please take away the pain. I've never asked God, please heal me. You go, what? All these things happen. Never do I pray, God, heal me. Take away all these burdens. I'm going, I'm a spiritual warrior. Give it to me. Come on. Give me courage. Give me faith. Give me wisdom. But don't take away the tests. Don't take away the gifts. The gift's the pain. The gift is the suffering. The gift is all that cancer and all that other stuff in your life. It's not your enemy, because all that comes to you in order to awaken you. It pushes you forward. It pushes you to the point where you're moving down closer to the light. So all these things are not there to punish you. Well, it's your karma. No, karma is not about punishment. Karma is about you burning these desires that are hurting you. Drugs, alcohol, anger, whatever it is. So there's a debt to be paid for whatever you do. Fact, it's a debt. If you commit adultery, eventually it's probably going to cost you a relationship with your spouse, right? Or you're not going to be happy. It's going to cost you. If you get away with it, you're not happy. You got guilt. There's always a price to pay for whatever you do in life. So my grandchildren, I teach them a real simple thing. Well, what's right, Grandpa? Is this right or wrong? I always go, you got the light, God, love, righteousness, virtue, the light. You got darkness, depression, anger, fear, jealousy, envy. That's the other side, right? So you ask yourself when you're making a decision, when you're doing something, is this moving me closer to the light or closer to the dark? And take a look and see where that needle's going. That's what I tell my children. That's what I tell my grandchildren. I don't tell them right, wrong. You got to make a decision. I can't tell you everything in life that's right or everything that's wrong, because there's too many things. You just judge it. Is this making me more enlightened? Or is this taking me to a depressed, dark place? Not about sin, no judgment. Just, is it taking you here or is it taking you there? Because it doesn't matter, if it's sinful or against the law. There's things that aren't against the law that are bad for you. Like overeating. Is overeating, is that taking me to the light? Or is it, it's not a crime, but you're hurting your body if you eat a lot of sugar, let's say, right? So everything is a choice. So in my workshops, it's hard to go back to the whole history of a person. So what I try to do is to get their mind back to a blank slate. And then on that, I impress energy. And I try to impress frequency changes. And that's where having a big group of people, all doing the same thing, and all at one part, I'll have everybody point their antennas and send their love out as well. And they're sending their love, and the person is loving themselves. It multiplies. It's greater than 1 and 1 is greater than 2. It's 3, it's 4. It's like hooking a bunch of batteries up. So my job in these workshops basically is to charge the battery, to wake people up so they can self-heal. All healing is self-healing. If you go to a Western doctor and you get Western magazine, Western medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Indian medicine, if you go acupuncture, if you go any holistic ones, you go chiropractor, it doesn't matter what you use. Witch doctor, doesn't matter what you use. If you have faith in it, just like the sugar pill, If you believe that sugar pill is going to take care of whatever problem you got, it works. You think, oh, it's only a placebo. No, it's a healing. Even if it was a sugar pill, it doesn't make any difference because they put their faith and their trust in it. So with these techniques, I try to get people to put their faith and their trust in themselves. That's why it's hard. It's simple, but it's hard. I start with the basics, and I mean the basics. Loving and forgiving yourself. And part of this workshop, towards the end of the last hour or so, I even do a guided forgiveness meditation where I take people to a temple and they forgive all these people and stuff. And people go, what? What's that? I said, it's got everything in the world to do with healing. Everything. If you have no forgiveness for others, you're holding on to this emotional tumor. You're not going to heal. You are stopping your own healing by hating others or being angry with others. You got to release that. But more importantly, you can't hate yourself. I found that very intelligent people, very smart people don't forgive themselves because they go, well, it's okay if so-and-so does that, but they're ignorant. They don't know any better. They're forgiven. Not a problem. But if I do it, I know better. I know the laws of spirituality. I know all this stuff. And I did it in spite. I can't forgive myself. And when they tell me that, I go, God can forgive you, but you can't forgive you? You're better than God? Right? So, forgiveness. And I keep repeating that because I found that people have this thing when they're growing up as a child. You can kind of respond to it. If this matches you, let me know. Kind of give me a hands up or something. Give me some. But I think almost everybody's grown up with parents that sometimes go, what a stupid kid. You're so dumb. How could you do that? You're never going to amount to anything. Nobody's ever going to love you. You're fat. You're too skinny. Whatever it is, you're ugly. Small minds absorb that like a sponge. They believe it. It becomes their reality. I'm telling you, forget those words that were spoken to you. It's time for you to open up and say, I love me. I am peace. I am love. I'm a spirit divine. I and God are one. I'm not any of those other things. People actually hate themselves for things they do. No forgiveness. They hate themselves. If I don't do anything else in the workshop except get you to forgive yourself, at least open that door to more work on forgiving yourself. And that's the best gift I can give you. Some people exceed that. Some people can't. I mean, some people, heart problems, things go away, back problems. But that's not why I'm there. I'm really there to say, I want to teach you how to love you. Now, if I have to teach you how to heal your body to get you there, great. But I'm teaching you how to love you so spiritually you can burst through to enlightenment. You're not chasing it. It's there, but you'll get there. But love is the pill, is the antidote. It's the vegetable. It's the vitamin. Love. Vitamin L. Vitamin L. It's it. Love will cure all. So anyway, so that's enough on I think you get an idea what the workshop is. So we'll kind of pause there. So if you got a question about the workshop, or if that's good enough, or if you got a question, we can go into another area. But that kind of gives you a little preview of what 4 or 5 hours will be like. Because I'll follow up with a bunch of stories of healing experiences. And the reason I do that is not because, oh, Reverend Bill had these great experiences. No, the idea is to inspire you that, well, if a fat old Irishman like Bill can do this, anybody can do this, right? Come on. So in the end, there you go. Vitamin L, somebody's got it. In the end, it's not about anything else but love. I don't care if you're dying. You got 6 months left to live. You got 6 months left to live with love. live it with love. So, peace and love to all of you. I'm just reading some of your comments here. Thank you. So what I'm doing right now, it's unfortunate that I don't have more than 3 weeks here. And what's happening is a bunch of people have come to me. And so I've done, honestly, I've probably done 5 of these things with small groups. And I haven't even advertised what I wanted to do in, Chennai here in this town, right? And thank God we got Mumbai where people can go. I got something going there. I didn't like the idea of everything in private, but people were concerned about my health. Reverend Bill's going to get. I'm teaching teaching about self-healing and they're worried about my health, which is kind. I mean, it's awful embarrassing if I have to cancel. Psychic cancels event for unseen reasons. Healer cancels event because he's sick, right? So it doesn't make good effort to be. Oh, you can't. You get these. You get sick. It's It is what it is. And because you get sick, it's not always your karma. It's not always a punishment. Getting sick and dealing with karma is 2 major, huge things that nobody really understands. There's people out there, great yogis and gurus will take on diseases of their followers. They're sick, right? Is that their karma? Oh, well, he must have been a bad guru. Look at this. He's got an ulcer. He just broke his arm. You can't judge that. Some kid that's born and he's literally an idiot. I mean, he's got all kinds of problems. But that kid comes into a family and everybody learns to love that child because he's, happy-go-lucky, maybe not very smart, but he's happy. And next thing you know, everybody's learned love from that child. That child came in and his task, his dharma, was to teach love through his suffering. So you don't know why things happen to people. So you can't judge, oh, this guy's poor this lifetime. He must have been terrible. Don't even go there. Nobody can judge it. Well, I read the Costco records, and I go, yeah, okay, great. Nobody can read your karma, really. They don't know why these things are happening. They're not God. So I teach people, don't focus on yesterday. Be who you are now. This group I got through with today earlier, I got off on a subject and a young man asked how he should live his life. I think he was 19 years old. He's in college. And what good advice would you give me? It's interesting somebody 19-year-olds actually asked that question. I thought that was kind of nice, so I deserved a good answer. And basically I told him, I says, here's a secret. No matter what happens today, when you go to bed at night, die. That's old self. Kill it off. It's dead. It's not you anymore. It's just a memory. It's dead. When you wake up in the morning, that's a rebirth. It's a reincarnation of the new you, whoever that you wants you to be. That's you. You don't have to be what you were yesterday and had trouble with people and all that stuff and failing. Every morning is a new experience, a new day, a new opportunity, a new life to go forward. So I was telling this young man, live your life. Every day is a rebirth. And if you move to a new town or you go to a new college or a new neighborhood, who do you want to be? Present that. They don't have to know the old you. If you want to change, when you move, it's great. When you move, that's a good time to change. I want to be this likable guy. I want to be the life, whatever it is that you want. Go into that town, go into that dormitory if you're in college, go wherever you become that. See, when you try to change with your family, they know you from childhood, and your neighbors know you and they remember all the stuff you did. And the school team, everybody remembers the old you. But as you're a young person, you're going out into the world, they don't know the old you. So what you present is brand new. They don't know this. Here's who I am. I'm a likable guy. I got a good sense of humor. I'm whatever. That's the secret if you're a young person. And if you're an old person, I go, a bunch of old people I know, and I'm 70 years, I know a couple of old people, trust me. They think like old people. Oh, I don't want to get on the internet. That's tech stuff. I don't want to use a smartphone. I'm gonna use this old phone. I'm gonna use a landline. Oh my God, you can take away my landline. People are afraid of change. And the only thing certain in life, like I was trying to tell this young man today, the only thing certain that he's going to have in his life is how he knows things socially today and technological stuff today. Everything he knows today is for certain going to change. When I was young, and yes, David, I was young once. When I was younger, there was no television sets in my whole neighborhood. Nobody had a TV. One family got one, and everybody went over to their house at night to watch television. Oh, come on, can we watch TV? You had all these people sitting in somebody's living room, little small screen with a magnifying glass in front of it. There was 2 channels, 3 channels in San Francisco. We had 3 channels, and the TV got on 6 o'clock in the morning to come on broadcast. At 11 or 12 o'clock at night, it shut down. That was it. People, my grandson goes, "What? You only had 3 channels? You didn't have, the cable?" No cable. And I told him, we never had a phone. No phone. I said, no. And when we got a phone, I was like in the 8th grade or something. It was a party line. And they go, a party line. It's like online where everybody gets together. No. It means that line was shared with 5 families. And you could pick it up and hear the other guy. So you couldn't hang on there very long talking because you have another 5 households someplace that are all sharing that line. I don't know if they had that in India or not, but America had party lines. And Dick Tracy watched. There was a cartoon, Dick Tracy, and he had a watch, and it had a little image on it, like we got on the screen here right now, and you could talk to people. It was in the future. This was in the 1940s, but in the future, he was going to be able to talk and have an image of the person on his watch. Apple. So times change. Only thing certain is change. And that means your body to go back to health. I guarantee every year you get older, your body's just even if you work out, it's not the same. From 20 years of age to 30, there's a difference. But 30 to 40 is a bigger difference. And when you hit 50, that's noticeable. You go, oh, yes. And then there's 60, and then there's 70. And I'll tell you what, when you get around close to 80, I'm saying stupid things like the other day I met these women. I go, oh, yeah, they were in their young 80s, whatever that's supposed to be. They're young 80s. I never used that expression in my life till this week because I'm going, oh, I'm almost there. There's old 80s, like 89, 80, but young 80s are only 83, 84. Come on, they're practically kids. Middle age, if they live to be 170, right? So anyway, so that's kind of where we're going. And I'm going to throw something out for that. I said something at the beginning when I was talking about where I'm trying to recruit people. I'm hoping there's some people watching this that say, I'm ready for this in 3 years. I want to do what Reverend Bill's doing. And I don't want my ego to stand in the way, and I don't want this to be a business, but I want to serve. I'm looking for people out there that just want to serve. And maybe you're just serving your town, your neighborhood, your friends. That's okay. If you want to go big time and go out there. What I'm going to devote from when I'm 80, I'm going to devote the next several years at that time just training people. If you're interested in something like that, self-nominate yourself. Let me know down the road. And then watch my videos, read my books. And I'll have, in 3 years, I'll have a training manual. I'll have retreats, even if the retreat's just on this, because some people won't be able to afford to come. I don't want money to be a hindrance. And I don't want people to go in debt. If people want to take donations so they can travel and do things, that's okay. To get I need donations. I'm a retired guy. I'm on a pension. And I always go out and I tell the universe, hey, if I pay for it all, I pay for it all. If somebody helps me out, thank you. You know what? I break even. And when I do better than break even, it pays for the next event. It pays for my next trip to go do something else. But it's not about, oh, I got to go buy a new suit now. I got some money, man. No, it's never. It's a separate account. This is what I'm doing. So if you want to help, I am recruiting and looking for people because I can't teach millions this. but I can teach dozens who can go out and teach hundreds or thousands. It's more hands, and I'm not going to be around. And everything I learned, which I'm not sharing everything I learned, trust me, everything I learned in my lifetime, I don't want it to go with me to the grave. I want to be able to leave it. I want to will it to people. I want it to be their inheritance. And I want them to teach, but I don't want them to promote me as a person. They promote my message. It's about the message. So that's kind of what I'm doing. A couple people said, well, that's great. I get the training from you, but nobody's going to listen to me because I need a certificate. So I agreed to that the other day. I think I was talking to David or somebody. I agreed to that. I said, okay, I give the training, I'll give a certificate. Because believe it or not, we're living in a culture where if people don't have a certificate, they're not official. Oh, I'm not a reverend. If you say you're a reverend, you're a reverend. No, I haven't been certified by anybody. I got to send my money into to something online. Then I'm a reverend. Because they send you a piece of paper, right? Now you can go preach. Okay. I'm telling you, if you know how to love and you want to serve, then Spiritual Warrior Ministries looking for volunteers. So see me. And I even have a nice little dog. I have an Army dog tag. I have these little special dog tags the military wears that in Latin it says love conquers all. And then it says love and Spiritual Warrior Chaplain. I think it says something like that. And I give it to people. Well, I want to do this stuff. I give it to them. I said, I got 3 rules. No dogma. Don't try to change anybody's religion. Don't demand money. Somebody wants to offer you a gift, take it because that's good for them, because they want to give service back. That's good for them. Don't deny them a good deed. But don't go demanding anything or expecting anything. So I got chaplains doing this kind of different. You're helping in different ways. They're not the healing level. But I got chaplains out there now that are Protestant, Catholic, Hindu. I got a rabbi. I got 2 Catholic priests. I got a bunch of people that are nothing. They don't even know if they got a religion, but they're spiritual. I said, that's good enough. You believe in God? Yeah. I believe in love. That's good enough. Here, go do the work. Go help people. All right. So somebody said, I'm in. All right. Thank you. So is there another subject area you'd like me to cover, or I can just ramble on? But if you want me to, I can talk about manifesting. I can talk about relationships, marriage, all kinds of things. And they're all related. Because if you're spiritually sick, you don't have a good relationship. If you're spiritually sick, all your relationships are dead, right? And you're not manifesting good things in your life. In America, I talked about this earlier, I think. I trust me, because I think I talked about it because I've taught like 2 groups of people today, so I have to start. Did I tell that group this? Anyway, so raise your hand or wave at me if I've already said this. But basically, what you manifest is not just what you're trying to do. Now, I'm consciously trying to manifest this. Subconsciously, you're manifesting things. From what you read, what you watch, what kind of movies, what kind of music you listen to, what do you read? Are you into pornography? Are you into the Bible? Whatever it is. All these things manifest in thought form. And in the thought form, they become reality eventually if you keep doing this. Be careful what you manifest. Everything that happens to you is manifested. Good, bad, including your health. Including your health. At some level, there's some thoughts. Thoughts are things. They have power. They have energy. Thoughts have frequency. That's why when you can clear your mind and have no thoughts, it's the greatest frequency in the world. It's the Om. It's just it's beautiful frequency. But as long as you got these battles going on there, you're not healthy. So When you, okay, example of manifesting. Here's how it worked against me. For about 30 years, every time I was helping counsel people, and I'd come back, all these veterans and stuff with problems, and I'd tell my wife when I got home, my God, that story, that it just kills my heart to hear this, guys. That kills my heart. That just hurts my heart. That pains my heart. I use that expression a million times. I don't know if it's a million times, but forever, countless amount of times. And then all of a sudden, guess who's having heart attacks? Because the heart's saying, there's stuff coming after the heart. The heart has to block all this off. So what the heart does, it gives you blockages. Now I got blockages in my arteries going to the heart. This sounds crazy, but I'll tell you what, words have power. The brain hears this thought. It doesn't say this is real, that's not real. It's all thought. It's just as real. That's why if you keep reliving past traumas, you're never getting past them. So if you come to me and you want me to help you with some situation, I only allow you to tell your sad story one time. And I say, that's it. You told me. Don't ever bring it up again, because we're going to die tonight and you're going to wake up tomorrow and it's dead. If you keep thinking about it over and over again, your mind can't tell the fact that you're reliving it or it's happening for real. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. You listen to people. I got people 90 some years old, 94 years old, 95 years old. And the guy's complaining about how his parents treated him and didn't hug him. And I go, your parents have been dead 50 years. Let it go. How long are you going to complain? So we do that. We hang on to stuff. So manifesting, I do a whole workshop on that. We can do that on another episode, but be really, really careful. Your thoughts control your health, controls what's in your life, who you attract. I got a woman that was, Reverend Bill, you got to help me. I'm 58 years old and I'm all alone. I want a lover. I want a husband. I want a boyfriend. And I go, and I'm so desperate. And I stopped her. I said, desperation is like fear. It just chases everything away. When you're desperate, it scares people away. You can't just date everybody and thinking about, well, does this guy love me or something? So I told him, love yourself first. If you become lovable to you, others will love you. All right, I'm here for any questions. Personal questions. You got a personal question? Shoot it to me. Turn your sound on if you want, or you can type it. Allow them to type. If you put your hand up, you can put your, so you can actually talk. So if you got a question, just there's someplace they can punch on it. Right?
Otherwise, anybody wants to say something, please unmute yourself and we will know. Then we can, one by one, we can bring you up.
There you go.
Harsha Parekh.
How to connect with me. Sir wants how to connect with me.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just would like to connect for this training or workshop, whatever. That's all. No
Okay.
questions. That's
all right. So first off, follow my Facebook page.
Okay.
Become a follower. I don't know how many friends I'm getting close to the limit, but at least become a follower. And then I post pretty much everything that's going on in there, my schedule. Go to my Facebook or my YouTube video channel. I got about 150 videos on there. And then I got interviews all over the world. And I mean, there's probably 1,800 videos out there, but start watching the ones on my channel. That'll give you a good background of where I'm coming from. I don't expect people to, oh, this is what Bill says. I got to believe that 100%. No, I like you to be intelligent and have wisdom and say, well, I accept this. I accept this. This, I'm out. I don't know. I haven't experienced that. This, who knows? So, but I want you to know where I'm coming from. And I'm not looking for robots or puppets. And if somebody's even smarter and wiser than I am in years to come or tomorrow, hey, Reverend Bill, you could do this by doing that and add another element to it. Great. But I want at least what I've done be preserved and passed on. I've had this dream. I woke up from it. I started doing this. I declared this thing. It's really stupid. Who writes on there? I'm on a 3-year world tour. I'm in all these places. You got no connections anywhere. You have no money, and you just go out. And next thing you know, boom, I'm in India. Boom, I'm invited to Salt Lake City, Utah. Boom, I'm going across all the United States. None of it was planned. I just throw it out to the universe. Here's what I'm going to do. And when I speak, I don't lie. Here's what I'm going to do. How it happens. All right. I got a question. I saw a raised hand down here.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself? The gentleman I have spotlighted. Your name is not there.
My name is Raghu Raman. I'm calling you from Chennai.
Yes.
Sir, I just want to ask you one question about, you talked about love and loving yourself. How about feeling the oneness of everything? Is it not basically important to feel that we are all one? There is nobody else than me.
Absolutely. When you love you,
Yes.
and you believe that the real you is God, dwells within you, and the real God is in everybody, then when you love yourself, you love everything. In my next book, I got...
It's a question of the moment you make the separation between me and somebody else, there is no oneness, right? If I love myself...
If you're comparing yourself to somebody else, then you separated it.
Yes.
But when you adapt what I call the theory of oneness,
Yes.
there's nothing outside of you.
Nothing
When you
else.
love you, it's all. It's inclusive. So there's no guru waiting out there to save you. The guru's you. The teacher's you. The healer's you. And if you're seeing all these things always outside of you, you want to be rescued by something outside yourself, then you're missing it. But you're also living in what I call a relative reality, meaning we all have a body, we have pain, we have life. And because we have a body and we have pain, because we believe in us, we believe that we are an ego, we believe we're a person, we have a name, we have a history. And when you believe all that, then you're not the oneness. You separated yourself. You can't get away with it. But the other relative you believes all that. Therefore, you suffer pain, birth, death, birth. Somebody asked me once, do you believe in reincarnation? Obviously, you believe in reincarnation, Reverend Bill. And I said, no. They go, no. I said, no, I don't even believe in incarnation. There's no birth. There's no death. There's no heaven. There's no hell. There's only one. They go, one what? No, there's just one. No time, no space, it's just one. There's nothing outside of the one. And I call the one love. So, good question. I agree with you. You're totally on track.
Yeah, and the second thing is, I want to ask you, what is the purpose of, we are all programmed from childhood till 10 or so, that with which we look at life itself. It's a very small percentage of our total potential. In order to break through, we need to go beyond our programming, beyond our conscious level, where I'm told that we are operating only 7% in the conscious level. That's what we are doing all the time, because we are reacting, we are not proactive. So can love alone penetrate through that level of consciousness into subconsciousness? That's a question.
All right. Again, let's go back. No death, no birth, no consciousness, no subconsciousness, no Christ consciousness, just one. You could go crazy that way. But each one of us has a body. If you have a body, you have an ego, you have a history, you have what I call an I-ness, your I, right? If you're an angelic body, you got an angelic body because you got your identity. If you're a rainbow body, you still got an identity, even if you're a rainbow body. If you're body of light, if you're body of whatever it is, astral body, casual body, that means you still have an identity. You're still separate at some level from the one, even though you're not. In reality, no. But in the relative reality that all of us are subject to law, time and space, all this stuff. For us, and we can be philosophical as we want to be, somebody just lost a child, and I say, hey, none of this is real. There's no birth, no death. I mean, I'm going to get beat up. Like, what? How can you be so? Because for that person, the pain is real.
Yeah.
And so philosophics is great, but that doesn't make or break you. So I tell people, that's great. It's good philosophy. I follow that. But all you got to do is love. The rest falls into place. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's true, what's not true, what's your truth, what's my truth. Love is the only thing that matters. And that's the only true law that you can count on. Love. You know when you're being loved. You know what it feels like. A baby, you don't have to tell a baby they're loved. They know when mother loves a baby, which is about the greatest. I don't know about you. That's about the greatest love in the world is when your mother loves you. That's it.
Sorry.
Mother's love, divine mother through the mother. So
I have a last observation or a question, sir.
Yeah.
If you're being a witness to everything what's happening to you and just let it pass by, how does love come in there? That I had been having a lot of issues last 6 months. I've gone over it. Every minute of it I acknowledge it totally without any this thing, and I healed very fast. I had a second operation just 3 days back. I'm up again because I just said it's all, I'm not this. I mean, I don't want to say I'm realized being, but I've been able to enjoy a tremendous amount of healing in myself because I was able to be acknowledge everything what's happening without any reservation, because in the long run everything happens to you for the good of yourself. And I just want to relate it. I totally agree with you. Self-love is the key to all healing, but I'm trying to connect it with self-healing. Maybe my logical mind is working towards it. I'm an engineer, but I just want to have some insight from you, sir.
Okay, I get parts of that. Okay, first off, I've got to confess to this group. I am legally deaf. I don't hear much at all.
Oh.
I read body language. I read your face. So I got an essence of it. And David knows this because I did a workshop in Munster, and I told the last hour and a half, I told the interpreter not to interpret anymore, and everybody go around the room saying why they were there in German.
Oh.
And it was over. I told the interpreter what everybody said, even though I don't hear, number one. Number two, I don't speak German. And I gave the essence of what everybody said, except for one person, a young lady. If you remember this, David. And the interpreter said, why'd you skip her? And I said, because she came here because she heard I was a healer. She's got 3 months, she'll be dead of cancer. And she's coming here looking for me to heal her. And it's not ordained that she gets healed. It's not her karma. And I don't want to talk to her. And she says, well, the person that were with me, the interpreter goes, well, she didn't say any of that. No, but that's why she's here. 3 months later, David, what happened? Died. 3 months, dead. She didn't tell, oh, I'm dying. No, I didn't let her, but she wanted to get to me. So, in essence, it's not, you're talking about it's feelings and stuff. Feelings are an emotional thing, and telling you that you shouldn't feel bad or bad. Those emotions. Working on that through meditation, but loving yourself. When you really start loving yourself, you realize that darkness is not good for the soul. It's not good for you. Being depressed is a punishment. It's not a good feeling. So it's hard to be depressed when you love yourself. Almost impossible to be depressed if you love yourself. But being a human being and you get diseases, and at my age, your age, there's some painful experiences, and we're looking at our body kind of it's falling apart one piece. If we were a car, we'd be trading it in for a new model. I mean, come on, new transmission, everything. So anyway, you'll find the answers within yourself when you just find the love inside yourself. Love is a cure. Love is a cure. And you just got to say, okay, I love me. I love me. And I actually say that in my mind. I don't say it out loud because people think you're nuts. I mean, because standing around, I love me, I love me. Who's this crazy guy? But it's an inside dialogue thing. But if you love yourself, you can't be depressed. if you really love yourself. And if it ain't working, I tell people, well, if I'm saying I love you don't work, then take more vitamin L. Love yourself more. And if that don't work, a bigger dosage. Just keep taking it. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Kavita, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Reverend. It was a beautiful thing listening to you, very inspiring. I have two questions. One is I want to know, one is my personal problem. I'll come to that first, and then the general thing. The personal problem is I had lent a huge amount of money to somebody who said who said I was his mentor and I was feeling that I should help him. So he borrowed for 2 months. It was a huge amount, almost my life savings. And then he did not return to me. Now it's 2 years, 2.5 years. So I want to know, what is the lesson that I should have learned from it? And is it something to do with my karma? Or is it, this is what has been troubling, because every suffering has some lesson to teach. So what is the lesson?
I just dealt with this yesterday with somebody. These people come here. What's happened to you is more common than you realize.
Okay.
All right, first off. So first thing you got to do is forgive yourself for falling for that crap. It was a lie. It was a lie from the beginning.
Yes.
Took advantage of your soft, tender heart and your desire to be loving and help them out. I have personally lost large sums of money to people thinking it's all they need and they'll pay me back. So what I did with mine was, once I realized I got shafted and lied to, with a smile lied. Like they look you in the eye and lie. And I just go, I write it off. And I said, it's a heavy lesson. It cost me some money. But you know what? They're out of my life. I don't want them there anymore. It's no price. It's too great to get rid of somebody that's not good for you. So you got to forgive you, then work on forgiving him. And don't go up to him and say, I forgive you, because that's ego speaking. This is all done in your heart, in your home, in your time, in your own way. But to hate this person or to carry the anger because this person did you wrong, and then you think, my God, I could have used this money for that. It could have been my retirement. I could have did this. It'll drive you crazy. If he hasn't paid it back by now, it's never happening. And in Indian courts, I've seen cases go in Indian courts. That's dead. Trying to get people from court, it's like, yeah, you could win it to court, and you know how that goes in India, right? Thank you. Come on in. I got some hot tea. Thank you. So you got to forgive you. Take the loss. I've taken some losses in my day because I said, you know what? If it was a loan, it's killing me if I keep thinking about it as a loan. So I write it off. I'm saying, I don't tell the person that. If they ever come back to pay it back, I want it. But I just basically, so I gift it to them. Goodbye. I love. Send love. Maybe that'll stir them someday. But you don't want to be chained to that experience. That experience will make you unhappy. It will make you sad. It'll make you angry. So why should you allow this guy? He took your money, and now you're allowing him to rob you of your happiness and your inner peace. So say, excuse the language, I'd say, hey, don't need this. Forgive him, not for him, but for you. And forgive you for doing that. And the lesson was there because you're not the first. Since I've been in India, I've like 3 people with this problem. So it's amazing. I've only been here 4 days, 3 people got the same problem. So it's kind people. It's the people that trust and love people that get scammed. You can't scam a scammer because they're thinking in the back of their mind, because the thought would never occur to you. You could lie to somebody eye to eye. That thought would never occur to you because you're a good person. And when it happens, it's like, what? You're offended. So the lesson here, shut down. If you're going to give somebody some money, just give it to them. Never give a loan to a friend or any. Loans are terrible. And don't co-sign for a loan. Been there, done that. Don't co-sign for a loan. And if the relationship, if you can't say no, I don't. You don't have to say why. Somebody asks you for money, you don't have to say, well, I don't afford it, it's the best, because they'll come up with 1,000 reasons why that. You just say, no, I don't want to do it. No. End of story. And then if the guy gets all antsy, pantsy, and mad, well, that tells you what's really going on there. It's not about you at all. It's just him trying to take you. So it's a huge issue. It's big in the United States. It's big in India. It's probably the same thing in Germany. It's probably the same thing in the UK. People scam people. People lie to people. I mean, how many phone calls and emails have you gotten from scammers? You owe money to the tax people, go out and get this money, send it to us. Or, I mean, old people are getting scammed all the time. Not that we're old, but, people are getting scammed all the time. So you owe it to yourself to be more skeptical. Because your motive is good doesn't mean the other person doesn't have bad motive. But in no case, beat yourself. You say, you know what? What's my sin? I gave somebody something. He lied, he didn't pay. That's not him. He's got his karma. So what you got to do is just say, I gift it to him. Gone. It's riddance. It's gone. Move on. It hurts you financially, but you know what? Mentally, you'll get it back. Mentally, your own peace of mind is worth something.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get it back being mad. You're not going to be going to court. It's a waste for these people. And then you got the anger of this guy, and some guys get violent. You never know. So it's like, do you want to go down that road? And then trying to collect, even if you win in court. I've seen it in India. You win. 3 years later, you still haven't got, the guy hasn't done nothing, right? Then you got to go to court again. And then I just dealt with somebody with that issue yesterday here. I wasn't in court, and 3 years go by, and then I go back to court, and then I win again, and then how many times? So don't go there. Just give love and send love to the person. That person needs love more than him. When he died, I started beginning to say, I said, when he died, it's not who loves you, it's who you love. On that list should be him, because he gifted you with a lesson that's going to change you, make you stronger and more emotionally healthy. And by forgiving him, that's going to give you good karma.
Okay.
Okay?
Reverend, it's a very huge amount. Very, very huge amount.
Oh, I just talked to somebody who was $1 million. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the amount doesn't matter. Some people get upset. I mean, I got ripped off for $2,500 for stocks that didn't even exist. They were totally made up, just printed on a computer. I mean, for a friend, I'm going, what? Yeah, so it doesn't matter the amount. It still hurts.
Yeah.
And you're probably never going to recover it. And you'll have a hard time making it up. So you got to forgive you and take actions like, budget, whatever you got to do from the financial end. You just got to budget it out best you can and realize that, okay, things will be tough. It's not as good as it was. But don't beat yourself up for it. Oh, so stupid. I did this. No. You were a good, kind-hearted soul doing something you felt was right. End of story. We have to exercise wisdom, not just heart. It's got to be heart and head going together. It's taken me 77 years to learn that lesson because I've time after time after time. Well, this guy just give him 5,000. Just give him 6,000. I just give 10,000. And you know what? They become your enemy when you ask to pay it back. It's like, they won't answer the phone. They don't come around and see you anymore.
Yes.
Good news is they didn't move in with you. You didn't marry him. They're off. They're out of your life.
Yes.
Let them be out of your life. As long as you keep remembering this, they're not out of your life. They're controlling you now. So I'd guarantee that I've given you a second thought. Don't give them another second thought. Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go. Free you. Don't be a hostage. So free them. Send love. I forgive me. Forgive yourself. I forgive myself. And forgive them. Not for them. They still got the karmic debt. So you got to ask yourself this. Okay, that guy ripped me off. And Reverend Bill said he has a karmic debt, which means someday he's going to be born and somebody's going to do the same exact thing to him. Now, what does that mean? You asked why. This payment. You just paid a karmic debt. Does that make sense to you? Hopefully the person you did it to should forgive you. So you forgive this man. You end that. Because you could be going back and forth doing this. It might be the guy. Maybe doing this to each other.
Right.
Okay? But nothing happens by accident. So why'd that happen? Why'd God let him take all my money? Maybe you scammed somebody in a previous life. Maybe you scammed him. So stop it. Stop the karmic repercussions now. Go, okay, maybe I did. So my debt is done now. I don't have to deal with that anymore. If you're looking for the good side, oh, so Reverend Bill says I paid that debt. Cost me a lot of money, but I paid the debt. I don't have to face that ever again. Unfortunately, he does. So I wish him well. You know, it's a terrible thing. That's the lesson. The lesson is don't be hostage. You did it. Forgive yourself. Move on. You paid a debt. It's done. I was dealing with somebody today that was $1.5 million because they lived with their heart. So, a beautiful person, but all heart. So, your motives weren't evil, but at some point in time, you wanted this person to respect you, understand you, and value you. So at some level, you were selling this because you expected that in return. Not even if I didn't know if there's it might even be a romantic thing going on. I don't know. But it wasn't just pureness that you gave it. There was also, you wanted to reciprocate it, like, okay, this person's gonna be grateful for me now, and maybe it's a good relationship, and you get scammed. That's the part that hurts. Because it's like holding a promise out. People, tell you all kinds of good stuff, and then,
Yes.
okay. So you paid a debt, you learn something, you forgive him, you move on. If you can, try to recoup through hard work, whatever. I mean, at my stage of life, I lose something, it's hard to recoup. It's a write-off. So things like this have happened to me. I just write them off. I just go. Right.
Yeah.
But I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. And Reverend, I wanted to ask the training programs which you have,
Yes.
can they be held online? Because since you want to spread it all over and you have it on your YouTubes, the trainings,
It'll probably have to be stuff like this. But at some point in time, I'll have to travel around the world and do some in-face retreats. In other words, I want to spend time with people in meditation. It's not just learning what to say, what to do. You also need to raise your meditation practices. And so I'm working it out, but I don't want what I've learned to die and fade away. And it's hard to put all that into a book. And I don't want selfish people going out there as a job. Oh, this is a job. I can make money. I can do workshops. I can be this public speaker. I want people to go out there and it's about, I'm gonna do this. If people help me, I'm gonna take, people want to donate. That's great. They're given, but it's not, I want to profit. No, you want to pay for the venue. You want to pay for your travel. If you can break even, great. So if you get a little bit more, you go, okay, now the next venue, it's already half paid for by this other group. Because I'm telling you right now, I've done venues where I got people in there, old people and stuff. There's no money. There's no donation. There's nothing. It's zero. And I've rented an entire church, building, and I'm going, but I had money left over from the previous one where more prominent, rich, wealthier people went and they took care of me. And I took their money and I said, boom, let's serve this community where there is no money. So I'm looking for an altruistic heart. And I want somebody that's not a job, not an ego, but truly wants to help.
I am there. I want to.
All right. So let's see if you hang in there for the next 3 years. All right. Thank you.
Rajan, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm an Indian Army veteran.
Ah,
And,
okay. Kind of guy.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. You kind of guy.
So we got something in common, I think.
Yes.
I've also been deeply interested in spirituality. And lately I've been taking interest in the Buddha and visited all the places where the Buddha lived and became enlightened, died, and all those places. So what is your opinion on the Buddhist teachings? Like,
All right. Let's talk about that.
does it gel with the things which you do?
All right. Okay, here's the deal. First off, I'm talking to somebody on my first trip to India. I went to where the Buddha got enlightened. I went to where he did his first. I went to all these places that the Buddha did his thing at. There's all these little. I didn't go to Nepal, but I went to the ones I could in India, and was it? I'm trying. Bodhaya, is that the name of the place where he?
Both Gaya.
Yeah, I loved it. See, I'm one of the type of guy I could go wherever I'm going. I could go in a Buddhist temple and I'm blissed out. I can go into a Shiva temple. I'm blissed out. I can go into a Catholic church. I'm blissed out. I can go to a mosque. I'm blissed out. I can go to the Golden Temple. I'm just blissed out. Literally. It's all the same. Let's go back to the theory of one. Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, Bob, all the same. It's all the same energy. It's all the same. So Buddha represents a path, a way. And Buddha taught, suffering is a great teacher to the Buddhist religion. But Buddhism has been transformed by hundreds of different people. So you got all kinds of different ideas and different doctrines and stuff. Don't get hung up on that. Focus on love of Buddha, you're all right. Focus on the basics, you're all right. And then if you're in a Hindu temple, focus on there. If you go to a Shiva temple, focus there. If you're going to go, whatever it is, it's a house of worship. It's a sacred ground. If you treat it that way, it is. But when you start discriminating against God's saints, well, Buddha's good, but Jesus is not. This one's good. No, this one's. God is in all. So when I come back from the war, Buddhism kind of appealed to me because it was peace. It was the opposite of a warrior thing. It was an inner war, a spiritual warrior. So for soldiers, Buddhism is a beautiful path. And just like sheiks, what do you call it? Sheik religion. Anyway, soldiers have earned the right to worship whoever they want. It is what it is. Whatever lightens your load, whatever brightens your heart, God is happy. That's it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
And as we say in the Army, Vietnam vets, every time we meet a Vietnam vet, combat vet, we always, because we didn't get a welcome home when we come back from the war, it's always, when we see another veteran, it's welcome home, brother. And that's because civilians don't understand all that veterans have to go through. Training and the dedication and being away from home. So it's always welcome home, brother. So to you, from American veteran, I say welcome home, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, God bless. All right, somebody else got a question down below there.
Yes, hello, Reverend Bill. Glad to be here. I have a questions. Straightforward. How I can help with the blockage in the heart chakra?
Okay. That, believe it or not, is one of those that people really get jammed up. You meet people that they've been hurt, they've been abused, not maybe just this lifetime, but in past lifetimes. The heart chakra, it's easy to hurt. As I was talking to the girl about the money, her heart chakra really hurt because she gave so lovingly and got stepped on. And a lot of people are afraid to outright love and give because it makes you vulnerable. And so some people take what I call a dry spiritual path, meaning there's devotion, the bhakti, it's not there. It's a dry path. I call it dry path. It's if you watch somebody that really has love for God and the way to develop that, if you think about God as just, God or Shiva or Jesus or Buddha or whatever, it's kind of hard. But what opened it up for me was I thought about what do I think the most loving aspect of the cosmos is? The Divine Mother. So to me, if God was a Divine Mother, that's the ultimate love. And if I look at God as the Divine Mother, and I give my heart to God, to my mother, imagining that and visualizing that helps open up the heart chakra. And then when you visualize energy and light coming through your crown chakra, do you ever practice cleaning your chakras? You can bring it up from the bottom, from your base chakras at the bottom, and you just keep bringing them up, and you stop at this chakra, stop at this. In other words, mentally, you bring up your spine. Imagine your spine on your back, okay? Imagine it's nice and straight, and you got this light going up. Start at the base of it, and just bring it up to each chakra. When you get that chakra, just give that chakra love, or chant Om, or chant Santi, or chant anything you want, or something sacred. But visualize each chakra and visualize it lighting up. And then you hold it there for 10 or 15 seconds. Then let it go, love, and then move it up to the next chakra. Then you get to the heart chakra. Then you get to the throat chakra. But let it stay. Let your heart stay. If the heart's the chakra you're having problems with, then keep it there at the longest focus. But you keep bringing them up to bring it all the way to the top chakra, and then let it go, right? And keep doing that. You just bring the energy up. Bringing the energy up. But wherever you stop and focus on, you're healing that chakra. That's what we're doing. We're about healing that chakra. Because some chakras are damaged, literally spiritually and emotionally damaged because of past karmic trauma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
That's good questions. This is a good question, sir.
yes. David had asked you to speak about some other issues like marriage, etc. But I think maybe we can have another session on those.
Okay.
When we can meet again, we can fix up a time that is convenient to you, maybe a few weeks later when you are in the US.
Excuse me, sir. Can I say something, sir? Because I am a late joiner. Sorry, sir.
Who is this? Just can you?
I am Mridulata Singh from Bhopal, sir.
Just a moment. Let me spotlight you. Yes.
Sir, good evening. I am a cancer patient and just require some boosting from your side, sir. That's all, sir. Some encouraging words from your side, sir.
All right. You're worried about a bunch of stuff going on in your life right now. And I'm telling you right now that everything in the end works out because you're going to change your attitude about it. Right now, you got things going on and you're judging that as bad. That's whatever it is. Don't judge. Everything that's happening in the background of your life right now you got to think that's supposed to happen. Everything that happens in your life or my life, all supposed to happen. Don't fight it. Don't hate it. Don't judge it. Just, okay, send it love. You're going to be all right. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, sir.
Stop
Thank
worrying.
you.
You're gonna be okay. You could wake up and be bald like us, right? Come on.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Blessings.
Thank you, Reverend Will. What you said struck a chord inside me, and I would like to share something. That it was about in 1989, I met my spiritual master in this life, and the mantra I received for initiation was Om Namah Shivaya. If one goes by the literal meaning, it means I bow down to Lord Shiva. But what my guru explained to me was that Shiva means auspicious. So when you chant or repeat Om Namah Shivaya, you are bowing down to the auspicious one who resides within you as you. And it took some time for me to really connect to this understanding that when I do this, I am connecting with the divine self within me. But when I made that connection, it changed my life completely. So what you say about loving yourself, when we really start loving yourself, then the real breakthrough happens. And I'm sure that through your words and the personal experiences you have shared, this breakthrough has happened to many of us today who are attending this session. So we can never thank you enough for your time and your kindness and your love.
Well,
Only
come on out to my workshop.
Oh, I am coming.
Bring whoever's close to Mumbai. Come.
Okay. I have circulated it to my friends. So whomsoever has received the invite for this particular session today, this invite has gone to everyone. Just about 10 minutes ago, I have sent it. So everybody will have it in their WhatsApp messages.
Cool.
And I'm sure quite a few people will turn up. And the other thing that I wanted to ask you, Reverend Bill, was that since you have been dealing with different topics, maybe we can organize a few more sessions on, say, relationships or manifesting, so people can get advantage of your presence.
You know I'm always here for you. Once I got a link at a time, I'm good.
Okay, that's okay. We'll work out something. And then, or maybe, perhaps at some point of time, you might have this kind of a thought of having these workshops, doing these workshops online, so maybe 5 hours.
That thought is the last resort. I'll tell you why. It's in person changing the
Yes, I think that the presence gives the energy. Yeah,
and video just does. I mean, it works a little, but it's not the same thing.
Not 100%. Yes,
Real life.
I get it. So we'll wait for that if it happens. And
गौर साहब एक रिक्वेस्ट है गौर साहब. Can you hear me?
हर्षा.
हाँ मैं अभी गोवा में हूँ. तो अगर ये जो आपका सैटरडे को इन रेवरेंड के साथ में वर्कशॉप है, कैन इट बी अ हाइब्रिड वन, देन आई कैन अटेंड.
That was in case she wants to know if it is a hybrid workshop, means part online, part offline, something like that. Then online and offline.
Yeah, together. So then I will be able to attend it if it's online also.
I didn't understand that.
Reverend Bill, what she means is that when you are giving the workshop in person, if there is a live feed which is transmitted, then she can participate through the live feed.
Yeah,
that's what she's asking.
live feed takes exceptional people to get the transmission,
Okay.
and it's all about that. It's about energy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if the COVID comes back really bad, then there's no choice. That's why we do these things.
Okay.
Distance for people who live way far away. But
Mhm.
in person is not the same as Zoom. It's
Yes.
Yeah, I understand, but currently I have some constraints.
He's not
about
able
it.
to leave Goa. Yeah. So maybe Reverend is coming back to India by
Yeah. Okay.
sometime in this year itself, perhaps. So
good chance.
Okay.
good
Thank you.
chance. You said that. So thank you so much, dear Reverend. And Hema, you want to say something? No, she's gone. Oh, she's not there. Okay. So we'll, you want me to do a small prayer of Shanti Pat, Reverend?
Yeah, it's yours now. I'm talked out.
Because so much of positive energy is generated, Shanti Pat is the way whereby we can transmit it to the universe. So we'll end with the Shanti Pat. It's a prayer which is about bringing in universal peace and harmony and uplifting all souls. सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनो सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चिद् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May peace and auspiciousness prevail everywhere.